Hi everyone, welcome you all. So previously we have learned list, and in this context we have learned many things. We have learned slicing, we have learned many functions like um, reverse, clear, append, pop, and one more important function we have learned, that is called a sort. Okay, sort actually is a function which is used to sort all the elements in descending or the ascending order, but today our agenda point is sorting, but not with the help of the function. We will be doing manual sorting. In computer science actually we have many sorting algorithms. You already know what are algorithms. Algorithms are a sequence of steps which are to be performed to solve any problem. So here we will be sorting our list using one of these popular sorting algorithm called bubble sort. And we also have inserted sort or insertion sort, and we also have selection sort. So basically we have three options to choose when it comes to sorting, and today we are going to discuss bubble sort. So let us understand what is bubble sort. First of all, we need some of the elements to do it. For example, this is our Excel sheet. Now let me have some elements. Actually, I'm having a very random ordered elements, uh, 10 and let's say 1. So basically, this is the list. I'm indicating my index value starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on up to n minus 1. Right? So now how bubble sort works. So first of all, we are going to compare these two elements. Okay. So how do we compare these two elements is, let's say this list name is list, let's say lst. So to represent this element we need to have a lst of 0. It should be compared with either greater than, less than, depending upon how you want to sort it. And we are going to sort it according to ascending order. So we should be saying that if a list item 0 is greater than lst of 1, so actually this is how we are going to compare these two elements, and if this statement is true, then we are going to swap their position. Okay, in this instance, if we compare these, you will find that 4 is smaller and 12 is greater. So that means this condition is false and nothing happens. Now if nothing happens, then we have to compare next two elements. So 12 and 5 will be compared, and comparison will be somewhat like this: lst of 1 is greater than, let's say, lst of 2. Right? Now if you compare this and substitute the value of lst1, that is 12, and here it is 5, you will find that it is actually true. And if this happens, then we need to swap those elements, right? So in the second comparison, our position of list becomes, let's say, 4 here, 5 here, and 12 here. Hope you got it, why the position changed. Let us understand again. First of all, we need to compare two adjacent element, and if the first one is greater, then we need to swap it. So first thing first, in first position, 4 was smaller than 12, so nothing happened. But in the next stage, where we have a greater value at the top, it is swapped. And same thing we are going to apply for these two elements. I think you may understand this also. So nothing happens, and your list remains the same for the next iteration as well, right? So nothing happens after this, but if you compare these two elements, still nothing changes. So you will get the same list again, But if you compare these two elements, then you will find that 10 and 19, your condition is true, so the value will be swapped, right? So what will happen? 10 will go one step ahead and 19 will come down. Now in the next step, what will happen? Obviously 19 is greater than 7, sorry, 1, and so your position is changed, and now it will become 19 and 1. So now you can see the minimum value which was at the end was moved one step ahead. Now obviously you can say that, sir, we were actually trying to achieve shorting, so all the elements should be in the sequence. Obviously this is our motto, but I am teaching you how this algorithm. So and here we have discussed only one step, right? So now to actually completely sort all the elements, we need to perform this whole exercise n number of times, right? How many times? N number of times. Okay, so let's do it. So first of all, we need to have a list of random values. So I'm going to import a module called random, and we will be using this random module so that we can have a list. Okay, so let's have a list which is first of all empty. Then we used a for loop for I in, let's say, range 10. So we will be having all the elements up to 0 to 1. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to append a list so that it adds one element at the end, and I'm going to generate a random number by using random dot rand int. And we need to pass actually two parameters here. First is a seed, that means from where it will or you can say that this is the minimum value for that will be used for generating random number, and the other value is the maximum value that can be used for generating number. That means now my function will generate random values between 1 to actually 99. Okay, so let's print at least at the end, let's say st like this, and now we have random values. Okay, so this is the original list, or list at the beginning, list at beginning, let's say. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Now we need to actually write our algorithm so that we can sort the list. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to write a if statement first. If lst of 0 is greater than lst of 1, then we need to change these two elements. So what we are gonna do is lst, or let's take a temporary variable called tem, is equals to lst of 0. We will be using a simple sorting method, or actually swapping method. So lst of 0 is equals to lst of 1. Okay, and then we need to do it, actually initialize 1 with the temp. So this means that if the first element is greater, that is in the case that swaps the two values. So 29 will go to the 0 index, and 69 will go to the first index. So this is going, this will be done for only one. So what we need to do to do the same for these two elements, we need to actually change the index value 1 and 2, and change wherever we have 0 to 1 and 1 to 2. And this process we need to do it for n number of elements, so it is very tricky task. So what we are going to do, we are going to take a help of a let's say for a loop. So what we are going to do, for I in range, let's say, and here we are not going to actually use a range, we are going to use a length of the list. So no matter what the length is we are going to be repeating these uh, n number of times. So let us get rid of this. In place of I, 0 1 I, and in place of 1 I plus 1. So if the value of I is 0, that means, okay, wait a minute, let's say I'm going to have a 0 to range length minus 1. Okay, it should be 0, that's fine. Now it's fine. So if the value of I is 0, so that means I plus 1. So I, and here also I, and here I plus 1 and I plus 1. Okay, so this makes perfect sense. We have temp, let's declare the temp is equals to 0, let's say, for the first time. Okay, so I think we should have this inside the indentation, not inside the if. So this is the half of the story that we have achieved in our Excel. So till now I have coded till here, right? So let us see what happens. Okay, I'm going to intentionally add minus or negative value, which is obviously at the end. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a lst dot append, and I'm going to have a minus 1 so that it remains at the end, right? And then I need to print the list. Let's see, and let's print the list. Okay, at the end, print lst, right? After one iteration. Okay, let's run this program. Okay, what is it? Index out of range exceptions. Why it is so? I plus 1 range, let's say length minus 1, that will be that will do the trick. Let's see now. So you can check it out what is happening. So it is exactly what we were intending to do. Let's check it out. So first of all, we were having 1 and 3, so condition was false. 31 and 52 condition was false. 52 and 70 condition was false. But we have 70 and 83, then value will be swapped. Then 83 and 64 value will be swapped, and then 84 and 70 value swapped, 84 and 10 value swapped, 84 and 11 value swapped, and finally we have 83 at this point. And then 87 and minus 1 goes waved one step ahead, and 87 goes at the end, right? So it is exactly the same situation which we have done here, right? And if you need to check out the intermediate retouch result, just print the list and check it out how it is going, right? Let me extend this and check it out. So the for the first time, for the first iteration, we are going to compare 4 with 75, nothing changes. And then we are going to check actually 75. Okay, wait a minute, 75 with 4, so current value change, rest of the list remains the same. And then 75 and 96 was compared, uh, then nothing changes. 75 and, wait a minute, 96 and 3 was compared, okay, value is changed, then so on. You can check it out, you can analyze the result, it will be a little bit same, little bit almost same or exactly same how we have done here, right? So now what we need to do, we need to exercise all these steps in number of times. So what we are going to do, we are going to have a same loop inside here, but this time I'm going to change the value of j and just make each and everything inside it, make this statement a comment, and let's execute this program once again. And notice all the elements are shorted. Ta-da! Right? So this is a simple algorithm where your value popped one step ahead in first iteration, then one step more ahead in the another statement. So if you want to analyze this, you can just print the list after the loop and check out the result. So after the first time your loop is executed, your one that was intentionally added at the end was moved one step ahead. And to reach this element at the place, we need to iterate to n number of times. That's how -1 is going at the top. You can check it out. -1 from here, it is going up, 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 and at the last it reached there. So this is how it can be done. You have to practice this, you have to write a code, you have to analyze it. So this is an algorithm or program for shorting a list using bubble sort, right? That's all for today. Hope you have enjoyed it. Tomorrow we are going to learn selection short and then other, right?